In a stunning and unprecedented political twist, France's new Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu resigned on Monday, just 2 weeks after taking office and a mere day after announcing his cabinet. His resignation sent shockwaves through Paris and beyond. The euro dropped, French stocks tumbled, and the markets reacted to what analysts are now calling the deepest political crisis France has faced in decades. For President Emmanuel Macron, this was supposed to be a moment of renewal, a chance to reset after months of deadlock and division. Instead, it has become yet another chapter in a presidency defined by instability. Sébastien Lecornu's resignation marks a historic first. Never in the Fifth Republic, the political system established by Charles de Gaulle in 1958, has a prime minister quit just 1 day after naming his government. Lecornu, a close ally of President Macron, had been tasked with building bridges across France's fractured parliament. After weeks of consultations, he unveiled a cabinet meant to unite centrists, moderates, and conservatives. But instead of unity, it sparked outrage. Critics from the left denounced it as a shift to the right, while conservatives called it too centrist and weak. Even members within Macron's own camp expressed doubts about Lecornu's ability to lead a government without a majority. By Monday morning, before the first cabinet meeting could even take place, Lecornu had resigned. To understand this moment, we must look back at the broader crisis engulfing Emmanuel Macron's presidency. When Macron was first elected in 2017, he was hailed as the golden boy of European politics. A centrist reformer who promised to renew France's economy, modernize its labor laws, and strengthen Europe's unity. But over the years, that optimism gave way to disillusionment. Macron's reforms, particularly his pension overhaul, which raised the retirement age from 62 to 64, triggered mass protests and nationwide strikes. His image shifted from visionary to authoritarian. Then came the 2022 parliamentary elections, where Macron lost his absolute majority. Since then, he has been ruling through fragile coalitions, forced compromises, and controversial decrees. France, the heart of the European Union, now finds itself paralyzed, unable to pass major legislation without confrontation. Lecornu's resignation is only the latest in a long line of political reshuffles under Macron. Since taking office in 2017, Macron has cycled through 5 prime ministers: Edouard Philippe, Jean Castex, Elisabeth Borne, Gabriel Attal, and now, briefly, Sébastien Lecornu. Each was appointed to represent a different political strategy, from technocratic reformer to social mediator, yet all faced the same fate: public anger, parliamentary rebellion, and dwindling trust. This constant turnover reflects not only Macron's struggle to manage France's polarized politics, but also the crisis of leadership at the heart of the Fifth Republic. France's turmoil runs deeper than personalities or party lines. It's a nation caught between conflicting visions of its future. On one side, Macron's centrist project seeks to modernize France through market-oriented reforms and European integration. On the other, populist forces, both left-wing and right-wing, are exploiting economic hardship, immigration fears, and anti-elitist sentiment. The far-right national rally, led by Marine Le Pen, has surged in popularity, especially among working-class voters. Meanwhile, the far-left France Unbowed, led by Jean-Luc Mélenchon, channels discontent from young and urban voters. The result? A fragmented parliament and a society where no party can claim dominance, making governance almost impossible. The resignation of Lecornu and the ongoing instability have rattled investors and European partners alike. France is the second largest economy in the European Union, and a nuclear power with one of the bloc's largest armies. Political paralysis in Paris doesn't just affect France, it sends tremors through Brussels, Berlin, and beyond. With Europe already struggling with high energy prices, Russia's war in Ukraine, and rising far-right movements, France's instability could weaken the EU's collective leadership at a crucial moment. Economists warn that prolonged political uncertainty could harm investor confidence, slow reforms, and even affect the stability of the Eurozone. President Macron, now midway through his second and final term, faces an existential question. Can he still govern? He cannot run for re-election in 2027, and his party, Renaissance, is losing ground. Without a majority, every law, every reform becomes a battle. Some analysts suggest Macron may have to form a grand coalition, perhaps even with the Conservatives, while others fear France may be heading toward snap elections, or worse, institutional gridlock. In a country that once prided itself on being Europe's stabilizing force, instability has become the new normal. France's crisis mirrors a broader European trend, the collapse of traditional political systems. Across the continent, centrist parties are losing ground to populist movements. In Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and now France, politics is fragmenting. The European Union, facing challenges from migration, energy dependency, and global competition, finds itself without clear leadership. If France falters, the balance of Europe shifts toward uncertainty, nationalism, and division. Sébastien Lecornu's resignation may seem like just another twist in France's political drama, but it's more than that. It's a symbol of a nation struggling to redefine itself in a new world. President Macron's dream of a strong, reformed, and united France remains alive, but increasingly fragile. As France stands at the crossroads, one thing is certain. The choices made in Paris today will shape not only France's future, but also the destiny of Europe itself.